Hi, I'm Miss Friends' mother, and I'm going to read you a book called A Life of Color about Sonia Delaunay. It's written by Cara Maines and illustrated by Fatina Ramos. Charles was looking for his toy horse. He searched behind the chair, under the rug, and in every corner of the room. He reached in the back of his dresser's top drawer and found, tucked in among his socks and trousers, a blanket made of fabric patches of many different colors. It looked familiar. It felt familiar. It even smelled familiar. But he could not remember why. There's Charles. Whose blanket is this? Charles asked his mother, Sonia. Sonia was an artist. So was Charles's father, Robert, and many of their friends. It's yours, Sonia replied. I made it when you were just born to keep you warm in your cradle. It reminded me of the patchwork blankets that people made in Ukraine, the place where I was born, far from my home in Paris. But your blanket is special. As I stitched together the little bits of fabric, I could almost hear the colors singing. Charles pressed his ear to the blanket. Mama, you must have really good ears because I can't hear anything. Sonia thought for a minute. Your ears work just fine, but there are many different ways of listening. There's Charles listening to his blanket. Your blanket changed the way I thought about colors, Sonia said. When I listen to them, they tell me what to create. What do they tell you, Mama? Sonia thought again. Why don't we let the colors speak for themselves? She took Charles by the hand. Come with me. Their car roared as it zoomed through the streets of Paris. Charles shrieked with delight as they barreled along faster and faster. Suddenly, the car lifted into the air. This would be no ordinary trip. Over the noise of the engine, he yelled, Where are we going? Close your eyes, Sonia advised, and follow the sounds of the colors. When Charles opened his eyes, he was surrounded by bright lights and music and people dancing. He couldn't help himself. He tapped his feet and clapped his hands. This is Les Bal Boulières, where your father and I danced the tango. I always wear a colorful dress, and your father wears a grass green jacket and a sky blue waistcoat and ruby red socks. Papa sure can dance. There you go. And look, there's Papa with a green coat and the red socks. Try to feel the colors and the music together, Sonia encouraged. When I painted Les Bal Boulières, I tried to show everything, even things you might not think you can paint, such as the colors and the sounds of movement. But I don't see Papa in you in the painting, said Charles. You don't need to see me, and you don't need to see Papa or any of the other people either, but the painting, the colors, in the painting, the colors are dancing. But Mama, don't worry about understanding it now. Let's go where the colors take us. Eyes closed. The sun was so bright that Charles could barely open his eyes. He felt his skin grow hot. He squinted and saw a busy marketplace full of fruits and vegetables, and he heard people speaking words he didn't understand. Are we still in Paris, Mama? Not anymore. I've whisked you away to Portugal, to a town where your father and I lived when you were a baby. In the marketplace? All right. We love to visit this market. The foods here are different from those we have at home, and so is the way the sunlight looks and feels. Sonia picked up a tomato. It was red and round. Look at how the light changes the color of the tomato from one side to the other. Charles saw that one half was brightened by the sun and the other in shadow was a deeper, darker shade. When I made this painting, I tried to capture all the lights and shapes and colors of this busy place. Charles looked hard. The shapes fit together like a puzzle. One of them even looks like a hat. So that's the painting of the marketplace. We have one last stop, Sonia said, as they blasted off in their colorful car. And the car looks awesome, like it's wearing a blanket. They zipped through the air. Charles felt the wind on his cheeks and watched the street lamps flicker in the city below. He saw bright colors in shop windows. He smelled bread from a bakery, and he heard the whoosh of trains and other cars. All of his senses now swirled together. He was beginning to understand what his mother meant when she said you could hear colors and feel them. So there's the city, and there they are in the car. We've just arrived in Amsterdam, Sonia said, at a store that sells the fabrics I design. Do you see, Charles, how we experience all of these lights and colors and shapes and sounds that surround us at the same time or simultaneously? I make designs for cars, furniture, and fabrics because besides being looked at, art can be driven, sat on, or worn. Art is around us always. There's all the fabrics in the fabric store. Can you imagine wearing a poem or an idea? Sonia asked. In a pile of clothes, Charles spotted a pair of silk pajamas printed with one of Sonia's bright, bold designs. I want to wear an idea, he said. Can I try them on? So there, whoops, is an outfit made of her design. Charles pulled on the pajamas. The smooth, soft fabric fell over his skin. He felt weightless, as if he were floating. When he closed his eyes to think about all he had heard, seen, touched, and smelled, he imagined a rainbow of colors, singing and dancing. It's getting late, warned Sonia, and tomorrow is another day with even more to discover. But Mama, I'm not sleepy. I have so many colors and sounds and ideas in my head. I'm glad to hear the world has color to cover it and keep it warm, Charles murmured dreamily, like a blanket. Now you know exactly what I mean, said Sonia, and she tucked him in and kissed him good night. The end. I hope you liked that story.